How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Family. We are back with another FPL video, and today we're going to be taking a look at wildcard drafts for game week 25. I'm currently on a wildcard, and I'm looking to set up my team for a bench boost in the big double game week 26. We still don't know the fixtures as of yet, as the time of recording. This is the Wednesday after the Man City and Everton and Burnley versus Fulham games, so we still don't know them as of yet, although Pep did allude to the fact that they'll be playing Southampton and Wolves next month, which would make it seem like that there are doubles definitely on the way. We also have some resources that are a little bit more in the know than myself and are greatly helpful in the FPL community. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's Ben Krellin over on Twitter. I'll make sure to leave a link for him in the description below. And these drafts are basically based on his probabilities as to what could potentially be occurring in double game week 26. If you haven't done so already and you are enjoying the videos, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. And drop us a follow over on Twitter so that you can see any updates that we post, whether it be lineup news or any new videos that go out, or even news about the double game week. I'll be retweeting a bunch of that stuff as soon as I have it available to me as well. And give us a follow over on Twitch. We will be doing a deadline stream, which is something I don't normally do, but I was able to get the time off to able to do the deadline stream for this week, even though it is on a Friday. So we will be here 1 hour before the deadline. I think it's 12:30 p.m. EST. Check the pinned comment down below. That will be able to tell you when that deadline stream is going to be. So without further ado, let's see what drafts we have for you this week. Now, the first draft that we have for you today is a draft based on Southampton, assuming that they have a triple double. So basically, there's a scenario where Southampton can have a double game week in 25, as we know, as they play Leeds and Chelsea. And then they could also have a double game week in 27, as well as in the big double game week in 26. So they'll have 3 double game weeks in back-to-back-to-back weeks, which will be fantastic, so that we can load up on them on the wildcard and still have them as double game week options for 26, and there are some pretty good ones in there as well. So starting out at the back, we have McCarthy in goal, very cheap goalkeeper, and makes it a lot easier on the goalkeepers for the double game week if they do have one, much like Fulham as well. We'll get to that in the second draft. Martinez, he's going to be included in every draft. He's just the best goalkeeper in the game right now. Aston Villa have games that need to be made up. He's going to have a double in 26. He's most likely going to be in most people's free hits for game week 29 as well, which will probably see Spurs play Villa in that game week. So I would say that he's going to be someone that's definitely going to be in there. Target is another one, very cheap defender, very good at creating chances, often starts pretty much every game, as Dean Smith doesn't really rotate his team too much, and he's quite cheap, 4.8 million. I think he might be 4.9 million at the time, but it initially started at 4.5, so is quite good value there. This is where the Southampton comes in. So Vestergaard, someone who's a very good threat from set pieces, and we've also paired him up with Ward-Prowse. Just kind of that dynamic there makes the most sense. Cheaper defenders, Lowton comes in as well, someone who scored a goal first time, I think it was in like 8 years, but he's just kind of fitting the budget in this case. Cancelo, someone I've had a little bit of value on, but again, this squad value is based on the fact that all players are bought at current price purchase value at the moment. This is before the price rises on Wednesday after the Man City versus Everton game. Luke Shaw is also another defender that a lot of people are probably going to get. Has a double game week and has been doing quite well. I think he's got the most assists out of any defender in the Premier League since 2021 started, so quite good for him as well. We've also gone with a double City attack in midfield in this case with Gundogan and De Bruyne. Gundogan's streak started even before De Bruyne left the team, and I think with both of them in it, it's going to make them even better. Son as well, someone who's going to be in there, going to have some double game weeks, and paired up with Kane just makes the most sense. Kane could also be a triple captaincy option as well. Like we mentioned, Ward-Prowse already. And then we have the double Leeds midfield and attack with Bamford and Rafinha. Now, this is going to be similar to some of the players that we see in the third draft, but with this one, we're going to be looking to get some of these players out, because if Southampton have a double but Leeds don't, we can still have 15 double game week players, and I'll show you how we do that. So Watkins being the last forward, what you would do is, so the squad value, 98 million, doesn't seem like a whole lot, but in this scenario, I think I have like close to 6 million saved up in the bank. That allows me to go from Bamford straight up to Vardy, who has a nice double game week versus Arsenal and Burnley, and it also allows us to upgrade Rafinha to a midfielder in the 7.5 million range. So you can go for Maddison, you can go for Neto, you can go for Barnes, someone in that scenario. If you have more money than I do, then you can go for that as well. So it makes sense to be able to do that, and then it would set you up for only just a -4, which is effectively like a -2 because they play 2 games. It would allow you to basically have 15 double game weekers, and you would basically be looking at a bench boost of McCarthy's double game week, Vestergaard's double game week, Loughton's double game week, and then probably, in normal circumstances, Ward-Prowse's double game week, which I think is quite good. You have 8 fixtures out of all of them. You have triple Southampton, which their double game week might not be, might not be great, but it might not be bad either. So, and set pieces can happen from anything. I mean, if we've seen anything from Ward-Prowse, is that basically his free kicks are like penalties. So, yeah, and the double up with him and Vestergaard on a set piece, anything is possible. So yeah, I like this draft a lot. If Southampton do have a triple double, this is something that I'm going to be looking to definitely look towards, and I think the -4 is definitely worth it as well. You can also, if you still have value on Diaz, you can go for him as well, or if you have a little bit extra cash, Diaz is probably the safer option. I just like the more aggressive option in this one with Cancelo, Gundogan, and De Bruyne, and obviously you have a little bit more value. You can upgrade Loughton as well to somebody a little bit more fitting. Maybe you want to go for Dallas and you just keep a single game week. You can also go for a Brighton defender who also has a pretty good single game week in 26 versus West Brom as well. So that's something to also consider, because we don't have to always focus on the double game weeks. Sometimes single game week players can be quite good as well, even in a double game week on a bench, as we've seen over the past couple of weeks. Now let's take a look at a draft which circulates around Fulham, not Southampton, having a double game week in 26. Now the second draft here, as we mentioned, is basically the Fulham draft. So this is under the circumstances, which aren't as likely as the Southampton ones for double game week 26, are that Fulham will have a double in 26. So what that means is that we swap out McCarthy and goal for Areola, same price. Very good goalkeeper in his own right, and will pick up some save points, and has a couple of okay fixtures on paper. He would play, I think it would be Spurs and another team that would also be not too bad either. I'm spacing out on the fixture. Leave a comment down below as to which one that could be based on Ben Crellin's sheet, which I'll also link to as well. But it should be quite good. I mean, even versus the Spurs boys, you would still have pick up some save points. Spurs don't typically score very many in the first place anyway as well. Similar backline as well, although we've gone for a double City defense with Diaz and Cancelo. Shaw's in there, Loughton returns, as well as Target. I think all are great options for a bench boost situation here. A lot higher squad value because we've put a lot of the money into the team here. So this is if you don't want to make much changes, if any, going into 26, and you want to be able to ship some of these players out as well. So I think I only had 0.1 million in the bank, so there's not really much wiggle room here. But if you wanted to, you can always have obviously Bamford, and then you can then take him out for Vardy and use that as your one free transfer in 26. That is also an option as well. Or you can downgrade Vardy, have Calvert-Lewin, or you can have Bamford and then do Calvert-Lewin instead of Bamford if he's back fit, because he will probably have a double as well in 26. And then you can upgrade Neto to somebody a little bit a little beefier, someone with a little bit more value like Maddison or Barnes or somebody like that as well. In midfield, Gundogan still returns. Son's in there. Fernandez is someone we didn't have in the other draft as well. He has a pretty good double versus Crystal Palace and Chelsea away, which are two quite good fixtures. And then Adaman and Lookman is also in there as well. Very cheap midfielder, 5 million. He's somebody that if Fulham have a double game week, I'll definitely be keeping my eye on him as a potential, kind of enabler for the rest of the squad. And then Pedro Neto, someone who isn't as likely to have a double as the likes of Leicester and Man United and City and that sort of stuff, but he's probably, Wolves are next in line, and most likely that double is going to be versus City. And if it is, then you can pay 5.7 million for someone who's basically playing right or left forward for Wolves and has been doing very well for them in the last few weeks. And I think Wolves are slightly starting to change things just a little bit and starting to get back into their groove, just a little bit, kind of frustrating teams and still being able to hit them on the break. And I think think Neto has definitely been a part of that. And then we've gone with 3 power forwards, Kane, Vardy, Ings. Ings with double game week. Like I said, if you want to hang on to Bamford and then just use your 1 free transfer to bring in Vardy or Kane, just make sure you allocate the money. You can definitely do that. But I just kind of wanted to show you the team on paper. And this all obviously stems around the fact if Gundogan is fit, he should be. It seems like he'll either be back for Arsenal or Mönchengladbach. And that's perfectly fine for us, because if he's not back for either of those, then he will most certainly, based on what we've seen, he will be back for that double game week. And he's so important, he's not going to get dropped. I wouldn't see it anyway. And it would be perfect, basically, if he didn't play versus Arsenal, and then he played like 10 minutes off the bench versus Gladbach in midweek of next week, and then he plays 2 games back-to-back for the double. That would be good for owners for Gundogan as well. And there's also a potential captaincy option, which would make it a lot easier, because a lot of people could be triple captaining for this draft as well. And you have some decent, options to bench boost in this, the game week before, if you wanted to, or the game week afterwards. So yeah, it's a pretty flexible draft. You can see positions where you can downgrade. So like Diaz can downgrade, Cancelo can downgrade, and you can always upgrade your midfielders to the likes of a Grealish because you don't have triple Villa in this draft, which you could do. There's many different ways you can kind of work around it. I like both sets with the Southampton and Fulham scenarios. I much prefer the Southampton one just because the triple-double just makes it so easy, which I'm, fingers crossed that the fixtures do come out before the Game Week 25 deadline. But now let's take a look at the last draft, which is a basically double game week 25, just heavy, pretty much all in on that game week for that draft. And lastly, we have the double game week 25 draft. Now, the squad value is actually the exact same, 103.7 million. That's mainly because we still have Fernandes in the team, who I have quite a bit of value in. And I've kind of spread around the teams for, the players that you could potentially have, even for a bench boost in 26. It's still going to be, pretty decent, although I probably wouldn't recommend it with this one with the amount of Leeds players, and if Southampton don't double in 26 either, probably would be more of a triple captain team, and it would set you up more for a free hit team, because you'll have triple Leeds, which you can just hang on to. You'll have Kane, who you can always keep until the free hit week. You'll have a couple of Aston Villa players in there as well, and then you can slowly integrate some of the Southampton players out for either Watkins, who's another Aston Villa asset, as well as, maybe some Fulham assets or Brighton assets, teams that will go into the blank game week in 29. So we've got Schmeichel in goal, who's someone who I quite like, versus Arsenal and Burnley, 2 teams that don't really score too much and are, probably should be teams that Leicester should be beating quite comfortably. Could easily be 2 clean sheets in that game, maybe 1 goal conceded between the 2 of them. And I think he could be quite good value in this double game week, and is definitely being overlooked from what I've seen in a lot of drafts. So 5.5 million, it's going to be the same price as Pope. He's going to be 0.6 million less than Ederson, and he's an assured starter as well in a team that's doing quite well and is tied for second, I think, on points with Man United in the league so far. Target, Cancelo, Shaw, again, 3 players that I really like in, double game week drafts going into 26. We have Keane as well. From Everton, he's someone 5.1 million, could be a set piece threat. Everton could have a double game week in 26, 27, and 28, I think. Definitely 26 and 27. Whether they have their, other doubles rescheduled in that order could potentially be possible, or I think it could be 26 and 27 or 26 and 28, one of the 2. But he's someone who's quite cheap, gets a little bit extra value in the rest of your team rather than going for someone like Luca Dean. And then we have the triple Leeds in Dallas, Rafinha, and Bamford. And then we have Ward-Prowse and Danny Ings as well. If you wanted to even go a bit further, you could add that 1 extra million to add it on to Keane and get Luca Dean in, and then have Schmeichel be the likes of McCarthy. And then you have triple Southampton, triple Leeds there as well. Then you can just hang on to your Leeds, like we said, for the free hit. In midfield, obviously Gundogan still stays there. As you can see, also, we don't have a third City player. Now, that can obviously be changed if you wanted to hang on to Fernandes, for example, for his Newcastle fixture, and then take him out for the likes of De Bruyne or Sterling or whoever in midfield. Or if you had a bit of extra cash, you could upgrade, one of your other defenders, or even Schmeichel to Ederson if you wanted to. We also have Sadio Mane in there, who also could easily, if you had a little bit extra cash, be Salah, or like we said, De Bruyne, who's at the same price at the moment. And then we have Bamford, Ings, and Kane. If Ings has a double, fantastic. If he doesn't, then obviously having 3 Leeds and 3 Southampton, you wouldn't be setting yourself up for a bench boost. So this would be probably more of a triple captain team where you can set yourself up for a very nice double game week 25. If you have used your bench boost already, then this would probably be perfect because it allows you to have these sorts of players, still hang on to other players which are going to be in the free hit team, and be able to use your triple captaincy on Kane or Fernandes or De Bruyne or Salah or Mane or whoever you want to use it in 26, because that's going to be the most likely situation where you would use it. And it's kind of looking like Spurs are going to have like Burnley and then another team in 26, and then City are most likely going to have West Ham and then either Southampton or Wolves at home, which also looks to be another good situation to use it for as well. And then there's also going to be further doubles in the next coming weeks as well as maybe smaller ones after game week 30 as well, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that as well. But you can see a lot of the things are based around like price points. You're going to have a lot of people going for more premium forwards is something that's going to be key. There's going to be a lot of people moving out of the cheaper strikers. So Antonio's fixtures have run out basically, and he is someone who is now back on the kind of injury watch list, as it were. Bamford's going to be good for the double game week and highly capped, and he'll be useful in the free hit for 29 if you use it there, or to hang on to for game week 29. But people probably be moving him directly to Watkins. So if you have value tied up in him like I do, he's an easy swap to Watkins because he's a very similar price. Ings can always be downgraded to Calvert-Lewin, who also has a double, most likely in 26 and 27, or 26 and 28. So that's something you can trade to as well. And I just think that with the draft, once we get the fixtures, we can basically kind of mold it to what we like. So me personally, I have all 3 of my major chips left in play. So I've activated the wild card, obviously. So that's one that obviously it's in use as of now. But I still have the free hit. I still have the bench boost, and I still have the triple captain. So I was looking at the triple captain elsewhere. The free hit in 29 looks likely, although I might still have players going into that. We'll have to see how the fixtures kind of run out, because I'll have double Spurs at least, triple Aston Villa. I'll probably have at least 1 or 2 Leeds back after the fact, so we'll have to see. I might have might be able to use the free hit in like 33, I think it is. That's supposed to be another blank for other fixtures going on in that week as well. But yeah, that's gonna do it for all the drafts for game week 25. And that's it for the Game Week 25 wildcard drafts for Double Game Week 25. If you did enjoy them, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and turn those notification bells on so you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. And make sure to drop us a follow over on Twitter so you can keep up to date with all the news and action going on all the socials. I will be retweeting out any fixture news that I get as soon as it is available, or I see it basically, as well as give us a follow over on Twitch. We will be doing a deadline stream. I'm on a wild card for this game week in preparation for the bench boost in 26, so make sure to check us out for that. It should be 12 p.m. EST start time. Make sure to check the pinned comment down below just to confirm that time. We'll be up 1 hour before the deadline for game week 25, so whatever the deadline says on your FPL site, we'll be there 1 hour before that on Twitch. PilotFlame226, links in the description below. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, take care.